It's there's two things. One is firstly the issue with what Foresight has done to people. Okay, so I don't know if you know, when they started up the business, they had like a founders edition. So they got investments from people who liked the concept of the helmet to invest in the business. Yeah. So ordinary individuals pumped, let's say whatever they had, $1,000 or Australian dollars, we're talking $2,000. Some people put in $10,000, $15,000 in the hope that they would get shares eventually from this business, and they made all these promises. And then they got, the first people who got into Foresight got founders edition helmets.
Okay.
So it's it's not quite the MK1, similar to mine, because mine's the MK1S. So mine's like almost a third iteration of it. But some people had like the founders edition, and they were parading around as the OGs, as they should, right? And then when the MK1 came out, they were given some retrofitment for the speakers, etc., etc. So now these people are obviously upset about all the investments, because it was almost like a crowdfund or something like that put into the business. And now they're high and dry. So GoPro, or what's his name? Alex Boyatkis, the founder, sold the business to GoPro. Okay. GoPro took the concept and then basically mothballed the technology because they didn't want a company to compete with their existing camera market.
Okay.
So I don't think GoPro ever had the intention of continuing with the brand because they do action cameras, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So now they've partnered up with AGV. So I didn't see a concept. I saw an AGV helmet. I didn't see on the picture that I sent you any sort of camera attachments yet. I looked around.
It looked like what they were using there was a pista.
It was a pista. Yeah, it was a pista helmet. But now they're going to do some sort of an integration with it. I don't know if it'll, they say an AGV GoPro powered helmet. But now they have the Foresight technology.
Yes.
Okay, they have the shell that fits in the front of the helmet. So we might see maybe a pista style helmet with maybe a slightly more pronounced chin portion to house the Foresight camera.
Yes.
Or maybe they'll retrofit GoPro's existing cameras to try to fit it into that small technology, since they now know how to do it.
It would work quite lekker, because one thing, like just by talking about that, I don't know, you've noticed that cam that the guys are sticking inside the helmet now on the left-hand side. It's a full vision.
So an Insta360 Go.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So now, I would probably say they would probably just stick with something like that, because it gives such a beautiful field of vision. You know, you get the first-person experience.
So you reckon they're going to make like a small camera like that and then integrate it into the side? It's not quite
I don't know if they do.
cheek badge.
I don't know if they do it into the, maybe they would do it into the side, but I don't know. Look, let's see what happens with this one. I'm quite keen to see, because I think it's going to go very far now, because it's got the right backing behind it.
But if I think about it now, smart helmets have been in production for quite a while, right? I have a Foresight helmet. I've never come across any rider in South Africa who likes recording enough to have actually spent the money on that helmet.
100%.
So good for me, because I like technology and things, and for me it made sense, right?
Definitely
at that price point. But now we're talking, the Foresight was 26,000 rand landed in South Africa.
So what is the GoPro going to land at now? And in an AGV.
Right, okay.
Yes.
So now a pista is already 20 grand entry at a pista?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
So now you add the technology in there, you're calling it maybe an extra 8 grand, you're talking 30K.
If you're lucky, bro.
Import costs. Or they put it into a cheaper helmet. I mean, what is the cheapest AGV that you can get?
I think it's like those K3s. The K3s, that's the plastic, the polyurethane, polymer plastic helmet. I think it'll be a K3.
For price range?
If I think correctly, about 3-4 grand for that helmet.
Fuck, but why would you see, but then again, now it begs the question, would somebody spending 3-4 grand on the helmet, is that necessarily the sort of rider that wants to record and vlog?
The thing is then, because the thing is, it's an action cam, right? GoPro. So the people that are going to be using it, maybe they will. Maybe they'll give it to, maybe they'll do a cheaper helmet for somebody that just wants to commute to work and, film his daily stuff. But I would probably think that they'd go for like more of the upmarket, high performance type helmet. Top end, warp speed type stuff. So
exactly right.
So the pista would probably be the one, or if it's not the pista, sure, I don't know. It'll be one of the K ranges then, definitely. Well, I'm keen to see what happens here. I'd love to see how it rolls into this. I think, because right now the 360 is flipping, killing the market with action cams, dude.
Now, The 360 you mentioned, have you seen the full camera?
I haven't. I've seen like the normal 360 that the guys stick on the back of the bike. Like,
Right. You've seen mine, right?
Yeah,
I've got the Insta One RS.
Yes.
So now the one that you saw that is that small, it's the size of 2 knuckles.
Okay.
A little camera.
Yes, and it just
Yeah. So it actually fits in the housing of a camera that looks and operates like a GoPro. So you can form it like that. It has a back screen. Then if you don't want to use a full camera, you pull out the receiver and then you can Velcro to the inside of your helmet.
Got it.
Now a GoPro, let's say a GoPro Hero Black, what are we on, 10 now?
Yes, somewhere there.
No, 13, 14,000?
Yep.
Okay, that camera, I think was 7,600 Rand the last time I saw it. Yeah, so I also hear that GoPro is a failing business presently. So they reported a 20% drop in revenue in their last financial year. So Insta's pushing them. I'm sure the Chinese market is also giving them a lot of pressure. So I'm curious to see how long GoPro stays active or relevant.
But it's so crazy talking about failing businesses. You saw what was going on with Harley Davidson. Obviously, you know what's going on with KTM.
KTM, I know. I haven't heard much about Harley Davidson.
So Harley Davidson as well, that French guy that is running it. I mean, he did like a lot of... Yeah.
Dis-moi encore plus.
So that guy that actually, the head honcho now, I think he's been told to fuck off, polite words. They actually used him because he brought Puma back up, good marketing and that. And then he went into Harley Davidson and they actually crashed. Harley Davidson literally crashed. I think their sales went down and I stand to correction, something like 70%.
Shit.
Somewhere there. Worldwide, yeah. Look, I stand to correction, but I recall it was something like that. And he was such a tonsil, this guy. So did I ever show you that Harley Davidson, if people want to see it, go Google the Harley Davidson Street Fighter. It was beautiful.
I think you did show it to me.
So that bike, I don't like Harleys. Sorry to the Harley riders, but I don't fucking like Harleys. That would have made me ride a Harley.
Me too.
And you know what it would have done? Because this is what kills me about Harley Davidson. I know we're just veering off, but we're talking about failing businesses.
Yeah.
That would have brought new riders, younger riders to the Harley Davidson brand. Their excuse was no, they want to keep it original. All the original riders are getting old now. They're going to pass the bucket, and the newer generation don't really want to ride that kind of stuff. Look, there's a few that would, nostalgic, whatever you want to call it.
Historical riders, the bloodline riders. 100%. Right? My dad used to ride one, so now I want to do it.
The Street Fighter would have brought that new generation that would have turned into these riders that you're looking for now. You know what I mean? They would have turned into the old school riders that would buy the glides and the couches and all of that flipping bullshit. So that was it's freaking the truth. And that was Harley Davidson's big mistake. I know the live wire, because that's their electric thing, that is completely cancelled.
Shit.
Then, like another failing business, but I'm sure there's going to be a rescue mission here. KTM, obviously.
Yeah.
KTM's biggest mistake that they ever did right now was they did not talk to the public and tell them exactly what is going on. So as a giant company, they're in trouble. Nobody ever reassured their clients, still to today. No one's reassured their clients that they're going to be okay. So now you got guys sitting with KTMs, trying to get out of KTMs. Yeah, I mean, move to BMW, because why? It's BMW offers fantastic customer service, parts are readily available, 5-year unlimited mileage warranty if you service it with them. So you got all these KTM riders trying to get out of KTMs. Granted, there's going to be a few, bitch and moan about what I'm saying now.
Why?
The loyalists, you know what I mean? So cool, be loyal. Yes. So be loyal, you know what I mean? Whatever, you guys want to ride KTMs, great. But KTM themselves made the biggest mistake, to me personally, by not letting their people that have stood with him for so long, let them know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Still to today, go look anywhere. KTM has never addressed it 100% to say, listen, I don't know.
We're screwed.
100%. And look what happened. They actually stopped production of parts. They brought back 500 people to run the production line. Apparently, they shut it down. Now, those 500 people, I think there was a couple thousand people employed, and all those people lost their jobs. They're in like billions of rands of debt. Think about it. To count to 1 billion will take us like a couple of years, apparently, or a year to count to 1 billion.
Where are they? Dutch?
Austrian.
Austrian, that's right.
Yes, yeah. So that's just talking about failing businesses. But the reason why I'm talking about this is just look at all these big mark businesses actually failing. well, not failing, or they're in some financial crisis at the moment. And then you have the likes of other small businesses that are actually flourishing right now, which it's good to see, you know.
Which smaller ones?
So this is going to be completely another, like, if you look around, KTM itself, sales have dropped in South Africa, all of that. BMW is doing pretty well. But then you got the likes of Bike Shop Rivonia, which they're a big business now. They have grown exponentially because of what they offer. They offer a premium service. So from the sales team to the management to the products they sell, their motorcycles are some of the cleanest. Well, they are the cleanest on the floor. I can challenge anybody. Their motorcycles are the cleanest. That little business was a small little business. Now look how big it's grown. They are doing exceptionally well.
But they're not quite a brand, right? So, we're talking about specific brands.
Specific brands, but they are a brand because they are Bike Shop. Now you must remember it's Bike Shop Rivonia, Bike Shop Boksburg. There's another one I think coming. They're
Diversified.
Yes, diversified.
If you're talking sole companies,
yes.
etc.
No. I agree with you there. But I'm just saying it's good to see businesses like this starting to actually to grow. You know what I mean? And then who else did I see the other day that was doing pretty well? Another good company to look at would be Icon. Icon's doing exceptionally well stateside and all of that. Their sales are through the roof, which is phenomenal. Another smaller company that was doing really, really, really well. Who were they? I was reading about it the other day, but I'll come back to me and we'll have to like circle back to this. But all those major big companies are taking strain.
I haven't heard much from Icon. I mean, I still support the brand.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yes.
I don't know what they've done recently in terms of new helmets. The last new helmet I saw was the Icon Domain Cornelius.
Yes.
And that was, if I speak on the correction, 2 years ago.
Yes.
Have you seen anything else?
Yes, they've
launched a new shape, a new shell, or new like paint?
I would probably say new design, and it looks like a new shell. I'll check it out today. I actually came across it. Was it yesterday or the day before? But anyway, just in general, I was just watching some of the Texas ride-outs and the guys, how they were talking about the brand and how the brand is growing and growing and growing. So stateside, it's doing phenomenal. So from a small little garage company to where it is now, they're doing very, very well.
Look at Ruroc as well.
Ruroc. I don't know how the hell that's working.
Well, I mean, we obviously you were unlucky when you started. I got one which was also, I wouldn't say a mushroom, but not all it was cracked up to be. But I mean, they've had a lot of iterations of their helmets to become where they are. So people are really enjoying them. Personally, I'll never go back. But
me as well, I won't go back. But I've got to admit, that track helmet of theirs.
The EOX.
Oh, that's
very good.
Stunner.
Yeah.
But yes.
I don't know. Like we said in the last time, I'd have to put my head in a helmet, and I need to be able to walk into a shop and tell somebody, talk about his mom if the helmet's substandard or something's breaking.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've had some. I hate that when you buy something overseas and then the support just isn't there. It leaves you with so much frustration that you just can't address. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
So your bike outside, how are you enjoying that?
It's it was a big change, a very big change. So coming off the MT10, which I swore by, phenomenal bike. It is probably the greatest bike, one of the greatest bikes I've ever ridden. This bike took me a little while to get used to it. So it was a replacement, you know. And when I first got on it, it was lacking that.
The savagery.
Now, the more I ride this bike, the more I'm like, this is absolutely phenomenal. And I've been test riding a lot of bikes. I went
Tell the people what you got, but.
I got a Z900, 2020 Z900. Got it for a really good price. Bought it from Bike Shop Rivonia. It's been absolutely flawless, spectacular little bike.
Pants, eh?
Yeah.
Zip up their pants when you're done.
I will. Don't you worry. It's sponsor, bro. It's sponsor. So phenomenal bike. And my very first ride with it was after the accident we went to, it wasn't Clarence. Was it Clarence? No, where's that Golden Gate Highway thing?
Mpumalanga.
No. Well, anyway, it was at that side of the world. It's called the Golden Gate Reserve, yeah.
Where God's window is.
Yeah, no, it's not. That's not Nelspruit.
That's not Nelspruit. Nelspruit is in Bombela.
Yes.
So we're talking Clarence.
Clarence. So
somewhere
it is
around there.
Clarence. Sure, man.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Sorry, apologies. And yes, dude, it's been a rough flipping day. So anyway, went there with this bike. And we did that whole Golden Gate thing. And that's quite a mean ride. I mean, it's got like a twisties down here. Dude, this little bike outshone my MT10 handling-wise, in and out of corners. It was absolutely phenomenal. There was a few times if I was on the MT10, I would have gone off the mountain.
Jet.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because this thing just handles phenomenally. And then I started getting the swing of wheeling the thing. You know what I mean? Dude, this thing is savage. It comes up for nothing. Once it's up, you can keep it there. It is a beautiful little bike. It weighs nothing. It reminds me of the MT09, you know, like the power to weight ratio.
Yes, yeah.
It actually makes more horsepower than the MT09, but less torque.
Okay.
And I can't fault this bike. I can't fault it anywhere. There's nothing that I can fault about. I'll actually give it to you for a weekend and go ride it.
Shower shocks, huh?
Yeah, it's got showers in.
Yeah, that's good. Because, I mean, I remember the Z1000 is very similar to that one, but it had, I can't remember what shocks that thing had, but they weren't the greatest.
No, we upgraded it to the ZX10.
Much better after that, yeah. But it's a beautiful bike that you got.
Dude,
when I first heard you were getting that, I was like, you're a bit tall for it. But, I mean, you look great on it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just, I won't change the topic. I'll let you finish.
Dude, you need to ride this bike to appreciate it. It is something else. It's better, to me, it's better than the Z1000. Gearbox-wise as well is spectacular. Let's not touch on that subject. But, dude, as an overall package, value for money, phenomenal. What you're getting out of a motorcycle, absolutely spectacular. This little bike is, and I've been doing a lot of test rides. So I went and rode like the new S1000, piece of shit. I went and rode the R1 again. I just went to go ride a couple of bikes. Then I got given the 1200 RS for a weekend. And I rode it and I absolutely hated it. I hated it.
It's so weird because I know you rode it before and you were trying to get knee sole in it.
Yeah, but the thing is I spent time in the saddle now, you know, not just quick squirts. The bike performs phenomenally well. Suspension is so stiff, dude. And I think I was expecting too much out of it. When you put it in track mode, phenomenal. But any other mode, it's just a letdown. The bike is a great bike. So whoever owns them, kudos to you, great bike. But for me, I hated it. I hated every minute on it.
Wow.
The quick shifter was okay. The build quality spectacular. But I did not enjoy the ride on it. I felt like I was riding off-roads. My kidneys were killed because we had a 50k detour on shitty roads.
Yeah.
Fucked me up.
Riding position?
Not bad. Tank feels very long on it though. The 765 to me was much better than the 1200.
So you're more stretched across the bike? Or is it just a sensation, not an actual ergonomics issue?
It actually feels, to me, it felt like I stretched a bit more. So not a bad bike. Phenomenal. It's a good weapon as well. It also to me lacked a little bit of character, but good bike. The 765 was actually better.
Okay. That's interesting, huh? I still haven't ridden one. I enjoy riding bikes, but I also worry about that nostalgia feeling that you get. Because, you know, I love my bike.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not looking at you. Just when you get on the bike and you're like, oh, I really like this. And then it's almost going to make my riding pleasure less, if that makes sense.
Dude, I can honestly tell you right now, there's not a lot of bikes that can, for character and sound and performance, they can top the Tuono, they can top the MT10, they can top the V4 Ducati. There's not.
It's just special, that bit of madness.
100%. But I'm telling you now, this little Z900 is absolutely bonkers. It's a great little package. So
I'll tell you something for free though. I rode to Hiatus just the last weekend with the On The Run boys. And we went the normal way in, and then you get to British and then you go right towards the old wheelie.
Yes, yeah.
By the time I got there, my ass was numb. Now, it is possible that it had been a long time since I'd ridden because obviously I had that surgery. We won't talk about the details of it, but we had those 2 surgeries. And then I know the exhaust vibrates, the new exhaust vibrates a little bit more. And I was trying to figure out whether or not it was the vibration from the pipe that was causing the seat to vibrate more because I haven't checked the seat suspension, or if it was just a case of you haven't ridden for a while. So your body forget what that, my ass was going up.
I'd probably say it's more than likely that.
Saddle time.
Saddle time, dude. Saddle time.
The noise it makes now.
Dude, I told you, I came past the car. There's people in this, after I fitted that exhaust, dude, and I took it for a ride, and I came past this car, dude. I thought that people were going to roll the car. They literally left right because it sounds like a MotoGP bike.
It does.
It sounds exactly like a MotoGP bike. It's phenomenal. And I wouldn't change the exhaust. I'll live with it. Even if I go deaf, I'll live with it.
No, I'm enjoying it. Then again, I always ride with, my helmets have speakers in. And that icon, I have earplugs in. But
Yes,
even but I collected it from you. I turned everything off because I wanted to hear it. And I was like, this is loud. But it's lekker loud.
It's a beautiful loud.
Yeah, if somebody hits you on the highway, they definitely hit you on purpose because you can hear that thing coming for a good 500 meters.
Oh, easy.
Granted, it takes 2 seconds to get there, but yeah. Oh, I love that bike.
No,
if I ever replaced it and I found a good factory Tuono, I'd buy that as an next bike. To go too far and deal with additional problems. You know what I mean?
The only problem why I didn't get another MT10 was, first of all, I couldn't find one.
Yeah,
there weren't none around, and what the people are selling them for, it's just it doesn't justify.
300.
No, they were secondhand with mileage. There's one that I could find looks exactly like mine, and they want 240, and I was just like, no. I got mine for 190.
That's what I paid for my Aprilia, 180 in fact.
Yeah, you see, so I just can't justify that.
It's hard, eh? It's hard to. I mean, if you buy it cash, it's a bit easier, but not everybody has that sort of shit laying around. And I get tired of seeing big installments going off, and then if a month goes by when you're not riding, you're like, what am I doing? Yeah.
Keely got a Triumph 1050, basically 2017 model with 8,000 Ks on.
Yeah.
Phenomenal bike.
Looks pretty.
I rode it, I think it was on the weekend, put it into track mode. What a bike. It's a better bike than the 1200 to me.
The 1050 Street Triple.
Speed Triple.
Speed Triple. R or not R?
She's got an R.
So that's the one with Öhlins.
No, hers doesn't. So you get the RS. The RS comes with Öhlins.
Okay.
And hers is, it's just such a, I turned it into track mode. What a flipping weapon.
I rode one of those. I really enjoyed that bike. That's the one where it's got the clock in the center, right? And when you move the bars, the clock doesn't turn with it.
Yes.
It stays in the center.
Yes,
is it a Renault C2 that does that? It's got the airbag and that freaked me out a little bit.
No, but great bike. She always wanted one, so now she's got it. She's super happy.
Pretty bike.
And I mean, Chanel's got one as well. She rides that.
Oh, look at that. Because
twinning, bro.
Sure. Too much synchro there.
100%.
Some of the months can be interesting.
One's black, one's red.
Yeah, Venom colors.
100%.
Problems.
So hers is Deadpool. Gillies has got hers.
So get a Tuono, you can get a pink one.
Yeah, there
we
go.
I can ride, it can be like that.
You're such an asshole.
So like hold hands.
Yeah.
I
was actually looking at the new Tuono this morning when I was there at Bike Shop.
2022.
I don't like it, eh?
It's fucking ugly, yeah. Let's be completely honest. I mean, they loaned Aprilia loaned me one when they were servicing mine the one day, and I took the exact same picture outside the garage of the old house I used to stay at. Very few redeeming qualities. You look at it, and obviously it's got that trumpet. Firstly, from the factory. Even if you were to replace that for it, the lines just don't line up. I'm sure in a wind tunnel it makes sense.
It does, yeah.
But it's just not pretty.
It's exactly how I feel about BMW. You know, the bikes are pretty, but they just lack everything else to me.
You're going to go to 300, okay?
Yeah.
And then you're going to see 20 of them.
100%.
Because everybody has a S1000R.
Everywhere you go. And I don't go there, but look at Satellite Road. Every second bike is a flipping S1000 double R, or if the naked's S1000R. You know what I mean?
That's all you see.
Going to be honest, I mean, they tampons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, every puss has one.
That's it. Tampons. And don't get me wrong, like we've touched on this before. The BMWs are spectacular weapons. Like you said, as a tool, phenomenal. They just lack so much character, those bikes.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. That's why I stick with all the other underdogs. They seem to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm not brand specific.
Yeah, me too.
So there isn't a bike okay, look, to be honest, let me say, I've never gravitated towards Suzuki. Okay. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But generally, I go by feel. If the bike makes me feel something, that's the bike I'm going to buy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I'm the same with most things. Yeah. Let's see where we end up. I wanted to ask you a question. Watched any interesting movies lately?
No, dude.
I'll recommend something to you now. There's a movie called Spaceman.
Spaceman?
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
Oh, God.
So he plays, I think he's a Ukrainian astronaut.
Okay.
So he goes out into space and he's out there for months on end, obviously in solitude.
Is this with that spider?
Yes.
I saw the trailer to that. It's got like this giant alien spider.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So it's, I think, I don't want to spoil it for you. So I'll say spoiler alert, Spaceman, if you're going to listen past this point. But the spider is a projection of his own subconscious, basically. Yes. So he starts to put himself through therapy using the spider, and the spider goes into his memory and starts to tell him about the things that he could have done right, and where was he when his wife was struggling at home. Really good movie.
Okay.
If you like a slow burn, kind of a cinema nouveau vibe,
Yeah, sure.
I'm big into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Slow. It's so deep, if that makes sense. Yeah. So good. So if you have an hour and a half to kill, watch
that. Dude, I'm busy watching that Mobland. Have you started watching it?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you where you are watching it. I think I know it's the same place you always recommend to me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go there and have a look. Yeah.
That is power. So far, Good. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, no, his car is badass. He rides an RS6 Audi, so whoever owns an Audi RS6, kudos to you. Flipping phenomenal car.
Tim from Tactical is giving you a shout out.
Dude, power, man, power. But it is good. It's got Pierce Brosnan in. He's like,
I've read that.
Yeah, he's like the Mac Daddy of the drug cartel there. But what a cool series, man.
I saw a trailer and I was impressed. And then I don't know what it is about social media, TikTok, etc. But when I see something advertised too hard on social media, I generally assume that it's going to be crap. Because something that is really good gets a lot of word of mouth advertising, and you don't necessarily need to punt it as hard. But they punted Tom Hardy's Havoc.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can tell from your response that you saw the movie.
Yeah, I watched it over the weekend, I think.
On a scale of 1 to 10, would you give it a 4 or a 5? Not even.
No, bro, I didn't enjoy it. Look, if you got time to waste and you just want some mind numbing, just put something on and watch.
Right?
Watch. That's it. It's it's a bit graphic in some scenes, like.
Yeah, it's a super graphic.
But no, not for me.
I mean, they punted it as Tom Hardy's rendition of a John Wick character.
Yes, yeah.
It didn't have the storyline.
Yeah.
It didn't have the suspense. It didn't have the pizzazz. The fight scenes were relatively impressive, but just excess gore. There's no reason to unload
no.
machine gun into somebody's face.
Did you see they're doing like a John Wick chick version? It's called The Ballerina. Swear to God, bro. So check that out. But yeah, no. I watched we're on the movie topic. Watched the horror All-Star Black Cast. I don't know what the guy's name is. I can't remember, so please.
That's racist.
Oh, no. Everything's fucking racist these days.
Which guy?
Sinners. It's a movie called Sinners.
It's Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
The guy who plays the bad guy in Black Panther.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Because he had to play himself twice in the movie as his twin brother.
I saw the trailer.
It starts off very slow, but if the people that love vampire movies.
Vampire movie, that's right.
Go for it. It is absolutely, it's one of the better horror movies I've watched lately. So you must check it out. It's
Coogler's the director, yeah.
It's definitely worth it. Also pretty gory in some parts, but
did you watch the Dunes?
No, I actually want to finish it. The one that's got that big Samoan, what's his name?
Momo.
Yeah, he's in there. I started watching it. I actually enjoyed it up until I watched, and then must try to finish that. I will actually make work of that.
I've watched Dune 1 8 times so far.
Really?
And Dune 2 maybe about 9. Look, I love everything about it. Firstly, Hans Zimmer does the soundtrack.
Yes,
He's one of my favorites. So sometimes when I'm working, I'm listening to that. But the story, I mean, I never watched the original Dune.
I watched the original
movie. Really?
Yeah.
I think it's on one of the platforms that I have it on Hulu, Netflix, or whatever. So maybe I'll give it a go. But Timothée Chalamet and the cast did such a good job of it. Now there's the final installment coming. They even did Dune Prophecies, the series.
Okay.
They could have done more. I mean, they had a big cast in there. They had Travis Fimmel, who played Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yes, yeah.
He's like one of the protagonists. They had, what's his name, Mark Strong. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He's in there. And I was watching it and I was like, it could have been more depth. Granted, I was work watching the thing. You know what we should do at some point, as opposed to this podcast, is I was doing some movie reviews as well.
Yeah.
How much passion I have.
Yeah. Dude, just off the nut there. You know me, I'm a big Predator movie fan.
Me too.
I love it. Did you see they're busy with the new one now?
The samurai one?
No. I'm so angry with people on TikTok. So people are bitching and moaning because the new Predator looks more human. He doesn't.
Yes, I saw that.
He doesn't.
Yesterday.
He's not more human. He's just young. He's young. And if idiots out there would actually read what the poster says, it says, first hunt, last chance, or something like that.
Okay.
So what they're explaining to and I'm going to try to explain to the morons out there, we'll say morons, okay, is whatever you want to call them, the predator itself, he's young. That's why his hair's tied up and it's very short. As they get older, the hair grows. This is his first hunt. So on his first hunt, that's how he becomes an actual a blooded, you know what I mean? A blooded beast. Now he's a young blood. And people are, oh no, he looks young. Listen, jackass. He looks human, sorry. No, it's because he's a young predator. He's hunting and he will get his armor and all of that shit later. So everybody just back off. So anyway, what's cool about this is now it's not on Earth anymore. It's actually on a hunting planet, so where he gets his blooded and all of that. But so far, I'm super keen for it. I love Predator. There's been a few flops. There has been a few flops.
I've loved almost all of them. Huh?
I have, except the last one. There were a few funny moments in it where the dog.
You watch your mouth. Which one don't you like?
Dude, it's the one with the military guys in the school bus. I can't remember which one. It was AVP.
Okay, that is a fumble, bro.
It was a fumble. There was a few good moments in it, like
Yeah.
with the dog that flipping and all that.
That is a fumble.
Yeah, so that one I didn't like, but this new one, it's going to be good because Prey was spectacular.
I was just going to say, I would say Prey is one of my favorite Predator movies.
100%.
Okay? Besides the first one, which is an OG.
Predator 2 was also good.
Danny
Glover.
Glover. Well, yes, of course. Los Angeles or something like that, right? Very good. Alien versus Predator, huh? So.
Yes.
But the one you mentioned was a flop and there was one more I didn't enjoy. Oh, Predators.
Yes.
Was also not bad, where they have the cartel guy, the criminal,
Yes,
the convict,
yes,
poisoner,
yes,
the lady.
I liked the concept of it. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Being dropped onto a game planet and you're going to get hunted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, also a big Adrian Brody fan, so...
Very cool. So yeah, that was my whole bitch and moan about the new Predator movie. I think it's going to be spectacular. Everybody needs to sit down and relax. It's a young Predator. He's going to look like the other ones as he gets older. You'll get his face and all of that will
They
change.
actually talk about how old these Predators are.
They live until 5, 6, 7, 800 years. There's one Predator king, then it falls down the ranks. You get all different types of ones, but they live up until 900,000 years, apparently, from what I understand.
It's not based in a comic book franchise of any sort.
It is.
Oh, really?
So it's based on a comic book franchise called Dark Horse.
Okay.
And they actually started it, which eventually turned into a movie. Or it was Predator 1, and then it turned into a comic book franchise after that. Either or. So very, very cool. I mean, there's a lot of key Predators in the movies that are actually in the graphic novels, which is quite cool.
Okay, that's very interesting, huh? Did you watch Captain America?
No.
What's it called?
Nope.
New World something.
Nope.
Look, I watched it. It was on Apple TV, so I paid 150 Rand to rent it.
Okay.
Look, if you watch it and you're able to shut off your memory of Steve Rogers as Captain America, and you understand that in the comic book, what's his name? Anyways, the character that Anthony Mackie plays, I can't remember his character's name, is Captain America. It works because there is actually a black Captain America in the series. As a movie in itself, 5, maybe 6. You get to see old Gamma Hulk, who's Harrison Ford, but it wasn't any of the others. It's not the Winter Soldier. It's not the first Avenger, and it feels a little bit forced. The humor's a bit strange, and you start to feel like they're running out of budget and ideas for.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see? We'll go back to bikes, but I'm going to mention one more thing from my side. Did you see the trailer for The Accountant 2?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
I think I'm going to give it a watch. I think it could be okay, but I don't know yet.
I'm also right there. They try to give him a bit of a humorous side. The man's supposed to be basically, I mean, they don't say it, but he's either on the spectrum, okay, or he's got Asperger's. Okay, so he stims himself with all these puzzles. But now they try to give him this humorous side. He's up with his brother. So it almost felt like a Tracy Gorman. Oh, that's my brother. But he's line dancing. And I was like, fuck, man, this isn't the Accountant I remember.
I'm going to give it a watch, but I don't know. I don't know yet.
But I'm not buying expensive snacks for it.
No,
Yeah?
no,
Yeah.
no, no, definitely not. But just like on the motorcycle side of things, they've never made a good motorcycle movie ever. I think there was one cool one that I watched was called Freebird. It was done in the UK. Guys take a bit of acid and go into the jungle, like into the woods there, and they end up pissing off some 1%er bike club. It was really funny. But that was pretty much the only good bike movie I've ever watched.
I think I can remember 3 off the top of my head. Biker Boys back in the day
Yeah.
with Lawrence Fishburne.
It was okay.
Yeah. Recently, I watched Bikers. Tom Hardy.
I watched it as well. It was okay.
No, it was cock. Yeah, it was actually shit. Yeah. Look, it's nice to so if you're never in a club or in a bar club to see a little bit of behind the scenes, and then they have a character who obviously represents Sonny Barger from the Hells Angels. Cool character, but as a story, it was dull.
Yeah, no,
it was dull. The movie hardly simmered. It was at a 4, and it carried on like at 4. How long was it? 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and afterwards I was like, this should have been like a theater production.
I think the worst biker movie ever made was that Talk, wasn't it? What was it?
Is it the one with that jet bike?
Yes. What was it? It was Talk, eh?
Was it Talk?
I don't know.
The Y2K bike, right?
Yeah, the Y2K.
Ice Cube was in there.
Yeah.
I think it was called Talk.
Dude, and it was so terrible. The oaks are shouting, they're having a full conversation while they're riding with their helmets closed, and this oak is like, and...
Don't forget Gleaming the Cube. Vanilla Ice.
No, that wasn't Gleaming the Cube. Gleaming the Cube was actually a skateboard movie. You thinking as Gleaming the Cube was actually...
Are you sure?
Gleaming the Cube was actually with Kevin Bacon, a skateboard movie. The movie you're thinking of with Vanilla Ice, if somebody could just fill in here.
Well, there's nobody here.
No, just wait for somebody to
put it in the comments. Yeah. We'll Google it afterwards.
Yeah. So anyway, that movie that you're talking about, watch that. I actually, when I was a kid...
that bike with the checkered cubes on it.
Yes, man. GSX-R, 1100s and ZX, and one ZX7 was inside it. So, dude...
Was that not Gleaming?
No, Gleaming the Cube's a Kevin Bacon movie.
Skateboarding?
Skateboarding, yeah.
Damn, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. So his brother gets killed and, in Gleaming the Cube. But yeah, jumping back to Talk, I pissed myself. There's these bikes, full ball. They could have done it better. They've got off-road suspension on, and the
road bikes.
Yeah, like you're in Talk, they're like riding through that like little jungle thing. Have a look at the forks. It's all off-road bikes with superbike body kits on. And these things are flipping. It's supposed to be a V-twin, but it sounds like an inline 4. I was like, no, that's it for me.
That always irritates me in movies when you see motorized vehicles running by and then they make it looks, you can tell it's, let's say, like a Ducati, but then when it goes past, it sounds like an inline 4.
Yeah, it sounds like S1000. Like,
guys, really?
No, that kills me.
Yeah.
That flipping chews me up, eh? But one bike, I must say, that flipping catches me off guard every now and then, eh? Because it's so hard to determine is the R1s, because you don't know if it's a flipping Ducati.
You don't know.
Or an R1 coming past.
It sounds like a V4. And there's somebody in my area who has one, and you cannot tell them apart. I cannot tell an R1. That's a crossplane, right?
Yeah.
I cannot tell it apart from a V4 at all.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm
love the noise of it.
They're like, yeah, I'm sure that's a Ducati coming past. Here comes a flipper and R1. I'm sure this is an R1 coming past. Here comes a V4.
I've got some proper chops in my area. There's a guy. I think he's on
Crystal
Instagram
Meth.
or probably that too. Because I've ridden past him. I was in the car, he was on the bike. Because I would never have ridden. I think he has a Mohawk on his bike. Rides a BMW S1000R, but he's one of these guys who has to rev bomb at every light that he's at. And he's up the road. I think he's got a shorty pipe on it. And we hear him every night. Now, look, I ride a loud bike myself, but you don't rev bomb for no reason, right? It's so irritating. And then there's a new guy now. I'm not too sure who he is. Beautiful bike though. I think it's a 1299 Panigale. Mostly white in the center with some red and maybe green or accents. Oh, what a beautiful bike. But also excessively loud, man.
Dude, that's what kills me. That rev bombing. I flipping hate that shit. It's all good and fun until you drop a valve.
Yeah.
I
almost hope the person does.
Me too.
So I won't go to rallies.
Dude, rallies are.
Once that Brannas is in, people light up their exhausts.
Yeah. Next morning, then you see them in tears because they flip and drop the valve or they flip and,
yeah.
No. And what you do to the poor bike, it's just, I got mechanical sympathy, for a motorcycle. If I hit my rev limit, I'm like,
I've actually set the rev limit on my bike because you can do it on your tools on my bike. And it cannot get to red line. So if my bike red line's at 15, 17, I can only get to 30.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I just generally just butcher their bikes at rallies, and that's what I'll never buy. I will never buy an S1000 double R second-hand. There's no chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. You see what those oaks do to it.
No.
Never been raped. Video. Never been crashed.
Did you remember that video? There was one that went around with a guy on a KTM 1290 adventure. He's on some game, some lodge. And he's sitting there through the night with his drink in his hand, revving the nuts off his bike. The whole exhaust goes red and you can see certain pieces falling off the exhaust. And then that bike went up for sale like a week later saying, never abused, etc. But the video was online. So KTM apparently flagged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, no.
Look, unless, of course, you paid for the most of the bike and the bank wants to repo it and you're trying to just be a nasty, I would understand that, okay? But to do that and to try and pass it off as somebody else, I mean, some people put their life savings into it. You know, I wanted a bike my whole life. I've been saving for so long. You know, I've been eating Provitas and now you buy this fucking thing and it's a mushroom.
Dude, that's what kills me is that that's why I will always buy a bike from a reputable dealer. Now, I'll never buy a second-hand motorcycle because being in the industry, I know what guys do to bikes.
Yeah.
I had a bike, a close friend of mine bought it, GSXR 1000 K5, painted pretty, this thing was pretty. He brought it to me to go through it, started stripping it. This bike was tumbled down the road. Frame was welded, subframe was welded, the works, bro. It was really, really bad. And obviously mileage gets turned back a lot.
Of course, yeah. What time have you got, huh?
Check now. Are we over our cups?
I don't think so. But my wife doesn't. My wife isn't telling the time.
No. We've got still 15.
Oh, good. This thing needs a new battery. Yep. No, bro. What people do to bikes and the level of dishonesty is
100%.
It almost happens so frequently that people have this laissez-faire attitude. No, but I mean, everybody does it. So it's okay for me to set the clocks back or to just be a little bit dishonest. I would feel super bad.
100%, dude. And it gets done so much. That's why I get bikes that come to my shop and I look at them and I'm like, this bike's got 12,000 Ks on. It's a 2020 12,000 Ks.
1,000 kilometers a year.
I look at this thing and you look at the forks and you can see how the forks have been like, from road rash. You know what I mean? There's no way that happens on a 12,000 K bike unless you are doing some really stupid shit. I mean, the forks themselves, the gold is actually going white, you know?
Yeah.
And it just kills me because then you speak to the client and that's what people, I had a client who had a CBR 1000 2017 or was it 2018? I can't remember. Anyway, brought it in there for a service and I stripped the bike, put it all back together and I said, listen, this bike, did you drop the bike or, and he's like, no. I said, well, the bike was dropped. These are the damages I found. This oak went ballistic because he bought the bike from a dealer and the dealer told him the bike's never been in an accident. But surely when the dealer sells the motorcycle, they do a PDI inspection, run through the bike, whatever it is. There were certain telltale signs. So you can see by the swing arm, and you can see on the foot pegs, you can dents in the radiator, just shit like that. Dude. This oak was fuming.
People know and then just lie about it in the hope that you don't find out.
Yeah.
I remember Keegan had problems like that.
I remember the MV, the ZX10. The ZX10, that thing was dangerous.
I mean, I would never do that. I mean, my bike fell once in the driveway. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Just and then we put that engine cover on. But if I ever sell the bike, which I don't think I ever will, of course we fall on hard times and can't get traction on OnlyFans. But
yes,
if we ever sell the thing, I'll tell the guy, listen, this bike only fell over once, the lever is slightly bent, and there's a scuff mark under that thing. Because I mean, even if you sell something footstoots, it's not nice because, like we say, people are so excited about getting this thing. They could have been looking for it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then they get home and now they're like, well, this guy took me for a pee now, What else is wrong with this bike?
Yeah. And like you said, it's horrible because it gets done so often. And that's why, like I said, these days I'll buy a bike directly from a good dealership. You know what I mean?
Because you can go back there. You can walk in and you can point in somebody's face and you can call them a doers if they did you dirty. Yeah.
But I do know of a lot of bikes on sales floors that have been down the road and it doesn't get disclosed,
Yeah.
Motors have been opened, there was a Ducati story, a 959, that after the guy bought it, he was only told that this bike actually blew up and then they rebuilt it with all brand new parts. Now you've gone and financed this stuff and Ducati are like,
but wait.
But wait.
There's more.
And I still say to the guy, and you bought it? He's like, yeah, no, rear cylinder failure. And, he bought the bike and like it's down the road. And now he gets told, I can't remember, how did I notice? I noticed something on it. And then eventually the guy was like, oh, no, this is what happened. And I was fitting a Tim McNoney system to it.
Mm.
And I noticed that the bolts have been, like the taper cover bolts have been a little bit stripped.
This is the white one?
That white one, yes.
Mm.
Yeah, dude. And it's a brand new bike. It had like 8,000 Ks on. And this guy now you got to sit and think, okay, this motor blew up before. Okay, now they've put the new parts in, or the
gum and duct tape.
The better parts, the new engineered parts.
I just 3D printed them yesterday.
Yeah. Dude, then I could never ride a bike like that, because then I'm like, dude,
it goes wrong so quickly. But
it does.
And then what happens to you then?
That's the problem with the super bikes these days, especially super bikes. They get ridden the shit out of. Everybody is a Valentino Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one can tell me no, because when you buy, me as well, when I ride a super bike, I ride it, because if it's going to do 300, see if it can do 300, why not? And every super bike gets ridden. There's not one person here in South Africa that can tell me that owns a super bike, no, they never see 6-gear top end or crap, man.
It's a super bike.
It's a super bike.
It's meant to be ridden close to the red and to go super fast.
100%.
Yeah.
And the problem is the people that have super bikes, they do to those poor things is ridiculous.
Yeah, but there's running and there's abuse. Some people can't. Some people just can't. Yeah.
No, look, there's a few boys that I got to give ups to. They ride the crap out of the bike, but they maintain it so well. There was that guy that I told you on Instagram, that Ducati King, that oak rides his bike. And I love seeing people, especially on Italian bikes, ride bikes like you and this gentleman that ride bikes like that. I mean, this oak's wheeling at like 300.
Yeah, no, look, I won't do that. Eh?
But I mean...
Yeah, but I mean, that's what it's there for, right?
But he maintains it. Go look at his bikes. His bike, it is mint condition. Then you've got One Wheel Wonder.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his S1000. That thing is flawless. Got carbon wheels from BST, custom paint job, but he maintains that bike.
Yeah.
Coming
up on another service soon.
Yeah. Loud and Rowdy Crew. I mean, the guy runs that. His S1000, he maintains it. Granted, there are problems, but they address the problem straight away. So there are a lot of guys that look after their bike. But then there are the other guys that just put petrol and top up the oil and balls to.
Yeah, once you fucking do the first oil change, you come out, it looks like a fucking mold of the...
100%. You open the sun plug and you wait.
Comes out like a...
Yeah, that's it,
I wanted to ask you a question. You follow Baby ZAA somewhere?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a Z900 guy, right?
Yeah.
I saw a post the other day that said Z900 315 horsepower turbocharged, but then I listened to every video on his page. That bike is not turbocharged. Is it?
No.
Okay.
No,
it's not turbocharged.
No, it's not. No,
it's just got a short ESC on, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they use it, but what if...
So he's taking the piss, huh?
Yeah, okay. But what a phenomenal guy. He's really a
Never met him. He rides well.
He does. He rides. He can wheelie the crap out of that thing.
Seen that.
And but phenomenal gent. I've chatted to him over social media. I think I've met him once at the Willie Road, not Willie Road, at Satellite Road. But phenomenal. But all these guys that I'm talking about, absolutely great guys, and people should follow them. Honestly, they're worth a follow. Their content is really, really good.
Yeah. That's baby_ZAA.
Yes. And then I think it's Willie King. He's on Instagram. You'll see it. He's got a Ducati SP, V4 black. And then everybody knows One Wheel Wonder. And then obviously the Loud and Rowdy Crew. Phenomenal guys. All good guys to follow. Their content is good and their bikes are pristine.
Oh, do you know what I saw this weekend at Volvatello? MT09 SP.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah.
Oh, it's pretty.
New generation.
Yes. Smoother tank. Weird light. And one long seat as opposed to the separated seat. So they've got the seat on like the MT09. And Ian was saying he prefers the MT07 seat, which is staggered. So you have your seat in the version. I liked it though. Because I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of... It's always been my complaint about that bike, that the front looks so mean and the back seems under what's researched or indeed.
Yeah.
But I've seen it before and I looked at it again and I was like, fuck, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Dude, the new Z900's got me. That thing looks like a Predator helmet from the front.
Yeah.
It is tiny. Dude, it's got quick shifter, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
It is phenomenal.
One big meth shipment, bro. We can
no, 100%.
Yeah.
That or we got to just open up a brothel somewhere. Sex sells.
I reckon, I swear to God, I think OnlyFans is probably more successful than brothels now.
Yeah. It's all right when Kelly falls asleep and when her friends come over.
Pictures of feet,
that's it, bitch.
Foot finder.
That's it. You make millions off of their feet. You're going to make millions.
Yeah, just pretend like you're reading text.
That's it. Just make sure the flash is off.
Yeah, that's it. Just get good lighting indoors, bro.
That's it, dude. And, yeah, man, flip it. It's just the price of things these days is absolutely scary.
Everything's nuts. Everything is nuts. I mean, I'm still acclimating to my new calling these days. Is this watch upside down? No, the battery's just not working. It's dark, bro. It's tough to read.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough to read. It's more of a conversational piece.
Dude, if you fall into the flip and see with that, you're going to drown.
Yes, but if I backhand you with this, you're going straight to IC.
Yes.
Yeah, straight to IC. What was I going to say? I haven't bought a helmet in a while. I mean, the last helmet I bought was the Icon, I think. It's just so expensive. So just trying to, I don't know what I would buy next, to be honest. There's not a single helmet out there that I've actually looked at and gone,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind something. You might not remember. I don't think you were with me. There was a time when Bike Shop was doing, was it Bike Shop? It was Bike Shop. Buy a bike, get a free helmet. And they had an AGV carbon camo. Have you seen that?
No, I must actually go have a look at that.
At the time, it was 8,500 rand, and oohed and ahhed that I didn't want to buy it. I've been thinking about it for maybe 6 years.
That's cool.
Yeah. If I find a carbon camo helmet, goodness me.
Quickly, while we got some time, that new Alpine Star helmet. I've never seen a review on the thing.
It wasn't a review. I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw the guy because he bought one. And then he shows a video of how to remove the wing from road application to race application, because I think it comes in the helmet.
Okay. And it comes with a tinted visor, I saw as well, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And he shows how to remove it. I haven't seen a review. Maybe you and I can look at it, but we can insert it maybe. Yeah, I'm curious to see, because we looked at it. It looked pretty.
It did.
You and I said that because of
the Pista. That's the AGV's, that's the rival for the Pista. Yeah, that's it. Because if you go look over, so like on social media, the Oaks are either riding a Pista or they're riding with an Alpine Star.
The Oaks, as in most of the GP guys?
No, all around the world, like your street guys and that. So, you know, like the big thing now is to have like a V4 Ducati and a Pista helmet, you know?
Really, is it?
Yeah. So now everybody is now jumping on the Alpine Star bandwagon. So I'm hoping it's not going to be a letdown like the Pista, because I've watched a whole bunch of reviews on people talking about the Pista, and like it was a waste of money.
They're saying wind, noise, all sorts of stuff. Right?
Look, it's a GP helmet, so it's going to be noisy.
Yeah.
But the one guy said, was it worth the money? This is a guy on TikTok. He's got one. Was it worth the money? He says, no, it was not worth the money. The helmet is subpar. It's good. It's carbon. It's light. Noisy as hell. It's just, is it worth owning? No. And he said his helmet, what helmet was it that he said was KYT. He's got KYT helmets. Spectacular brand. I'd love to get my hand on that. MotoGP, they're in MotoGP, World Superbikes, AMA, all of that. Their helmets are spectacular. I would like to get one of them. He says his KYT, that's quarter the price, is a better helmet than the Pista. I'll actually look for it. I'll send it to you. You must watch the whole video. But he's got a whole bunch of helmets, and he goes through the helmets. And he says the Pista is the worst out of the lot.
What we must do?
The pretty one.
I was going to grab a couple of helmets from James, and then maybe ride with him for a couple of days, and then we can come back and review. And we switch.
Yes.
And we talk a little bit of cack about them.
Yeah.
I'm really keen to hear. Look, I looked. You showed it to me, in fact, the Alpine Stars helmet, and I really like the look of it. But I'm going to wait for them to make version 2 and version 3 and iron out the kinks and get the gremlins out, because I don't want to end up with another Rurock scenario where I have to fucking sell the thing on Marketplace.
Aero. You know Aero, the helmet? They've got a GP helmet, a new one. You must go have a look at this thing, dude. It has changed the whole look of helmets. It's also got a nice wing on the back, but the front of the face, I can't explain it to you. It's almost like a jet fighter meets spaceship type, astronauty type looking front. It is absolutely phenomenal. And it's just got a good rating, a phenomenal rating.
Which is that helmet that you have that is based on the NASA helmet? I love that one.
The X-Lite.
Yeah. That's a cool letter.
Yeah, I'm riding with an Orion now, RX-7. Great helmet. Can't fault a right.
All right. Look at you.
But they're
Richie
they're
Rich.
just round.
Yeah.
That's it. No, I got it from a good mate of mine. He's like, yeah, there you go.
It's nice, but yeah. I wish my friends gave me helmets.
Yeah. Helmets and the headaches, eh?
Days, but
That's us for today.
is it?
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in
Mhm.
to another episode of Brass Tacks.